You walked into the room and your shirt had a small stain on it, maybe a coffee drop, barely visible, and for the next 2 hours, you were convinced that every single person in that room noticed it. You kept pulling your jacket over it. You avoided eye contact. You replayed the moment you walked in over and over, certain that people were whispering about it. But here's the thing nobody told you. Nobody saw it, not one person. And that right there, that gut-wrenching, mind-consuming feeling that the whole world has their eyes locked on you, that has a name. Scientists call it the spotlight effect. And once you understand what it actually is, you'll never see yourself or other people the same way again. Let's rewind for a second. Picture a stage, a single spotlight shining down on one performer, blinding, intense, inescapable. Now imagine you feel like that spotlight is following you everywhere you go, to the grocery store, to class, to a party, to a job interview. Every step, every stumble, every awkward pause, lit up for the world to judge. That's how your brain works. All day, every day, without your permission. But here's the question nobody stops to ask. Who's actually running the spotlight? The answer is going to mess with your head a little. You are. In 1999, psychologists Thomas Gilovich and Kenneth Savitsky ran a now famous experiment. They made college students wear an embarrassing t-shirt, a bright yellow Barry Manilow shirt to be exact, and walk into a room full of other students. Before entering, the wearers guessed that about half the people in the room would notice the shirt. Want to know the real number? Less than 25%, not even half of what they predicted. The people in that room were too busy thinking about themselves to care about someone else's shirt. And that's the brutal, beautiful truth at the heart of the spotlight effect. Your brain is not a camera. It's a mirror. It's constantly pointed inward, obsessing over your own flaws, your own choices, your own embarrassments. And because those things feel so massive and so real to you, your brain assumes everyone else must see them too. It's called egocentric bias. The tendency to anchor everything around your own perspective, forgetting that other people's minds are running completely different movies. But wait, why does this happen? Why would your brain do this to you? Here's where it gets interesting. Think back thousands of years. Your ancestors lived in small tribes. In those tribes, being watched mattered. Being judged by others could mean being cast out, and being cast out meant death. So, your brain evolved to be hyper-aware of your social standing, to track how others saw you, to constantly ask, am I acceptable? Am I safe? Do I belong? That survival instinct is still running in your brain today. In modern life, a coffee stain or a stumbled sentence isn't a threat to your survival, but your ancient brain doesn't know the difference. It fires the same alarm bells as if your life actually depended on that moment. So, your heart races, your cheeks flush, and your mind screams. Everyone is watching. They're not. And here's the twist that makes this even wilder. The same people you think are judging you, they're experiencing their own spotlight. Right now, the person next to you is convinced you noticed their chipped nail polish. The guy across the room thinks everyone saw him laugh too loudly. The girl in the corner is replaying something she said 20 minutes ago. We are all walking around, each of us standing under our own private spotlight, too busy managing our own performance to watch anyone else's. Think about what that means for a second. You have spent hours, maybe years, worrying about what people think of you, rehearsing what to say before you say it, avoiding situations because of how you might look, lying awake at night replaying conversations. And the whole time, the audience you were performing for was busy performing for someone else. There's a name for what happens inside your head during these moments. Psychologists call it the illusion of transparency. It's the belief that your inner feelings, your nervousness, your embarrassment, your anxiety are somehow visible to everyone around you, like people can see right through your skin and into your spiraling thoughts. But they can't. Your internal experience feels enormous to you, but to everyone else, you just look like a regular person standing in a room, maybe a little quiet, maybe a little distracted, nothing more. The gap between how exposed you feel and how exposed you actually are, that gap is the spotlight effect in action. Now here's the part that changes things. Knowing about the spotlight effect doesn't make it disappear. Your brain will still fire those alarms. You'll still feel the heat of that imaginary spotlight. But you can learn to pause and ask one simple question. Is there actually an audience, or am I just running the projector myself? Most of the time, you're running the projector. The coffee stain nobody saw. The joke that didn't land that you're still thinking about 3 days later. The voice crack during a presentation that felt catastrophic, but everyone forgot before the class ended. That's the spotlight. And you're the only one operating it. So, the next time you walk into a room, and your palms go sweaty, and your brain starts screaming that everyone is staring, remember the Barry Manilow shirt. Remember that every single person in that room is fighting the same invisible battle. Remember that the spotlight you feel so certain is blazing down on you, it's in your head, and you have the power to dim it, not by being perfect, not by never making mistakes, but by understanding that the world is far less concerned with your stumbles than you ever imagined. You are not the main character of everyone else's story, and honestly, that's the most freeing thing you'll ever hear.